Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ride Along Sports. Today, we're continuing our 100-team countdown. We've reached number 94 on the list, and the 94th team on the countdown to college football is the Ohio Bobcats from the Mid-American Conference. They're from Athens, Ohio, and they play right here at Pendon Stadium, 27,000 capacity. Opened way back in October of 1929. It's the oldest stadium in the entire Mid-American Conference. The first season for the Bobcats was way back in 1894. And if you continue on all through the years, through the decades, and you reach 2024, Tim Albin is entering his fourth season with Ohio. Now, so far, he's been 23-16 as head coach at Ohio. He did have a 3-year head coaching stint way back in the late 90s at Northwestern Oklahoma State, which is a D2 school that was in the NIA when he was there. But he's had several coaching jobs since then. He was a graduate assistant and then a running backs coach at Nebraska before moving on to North Dakota State to be the OC. So then in 2005, he moved to Ohio and became the offensive coordinator among some other duties in his tenure there until 2021 when he was promoted to head coach after Frank Solich retired. So what about the Ohio Bobcats here in recent times? Well, they've had some success in the past few years. They had a 10-4 season back in 2022, including a win in the Arizona Bowl, 30-27 versus the Wyoming Cowboys. They did go to the MAC championship that year, but they lost 17-7 to Toledo. So if you fast forward to 2023, they finished third in the MAC, and they fell just short of reaching that MAC championship game to get the revenge from the previous season. But they did go 10-3 on the year, and they had a great win in the Myrtle Beach Bowl, 41-21 versus the Georgia Southern Eagles. And so the question is, can they build upon that? Well, in 2024, Ohio has their work cut out for them. They lost quarterback Curtis Rourke to Indiana and running back Sri Bengura to Minnesota. Also, wide receiver Miles Cross moved on to Indiana to play with Rourke, and wide receiver Ty Walton is on his way to Eastern Michigan. And that's just 4 of 26 total players that are leaving this Ohio Bobcats team. But let's take a look at some 2024 recruiting rankings, and let's see where they stand in this rebuild year. Well, they're at 92 composite ranking. They have they're 108th in transfers for an overall 110 ranking out of 134 teams. They have a bunch of 3 stars entering the program, but they're going to look to quarterback Parker Navarro, the senior, to take over the starting position this season. He's been with the Bobcats for the past 2 seasons. This will be his 3rd and final year there, and they're really going to look to rebuild. Don't look for too much out of this team. Look, they had a lot of success, and they've built year after year. I don't see where they really excel this season. This is going to be a big rebuild, possibly a 2 or 3 rebuild. They don't have a whole lot of activity in the recruiting, in high school recruiting. They do have a lot of transfers, as I mentioned, coming in, but they've really got to work on that and build some of these younger players up. And then maybe next season, 2025, 2026, they'll really have a shot at going for that MAC championship yet again. So let's look at some traditions for the Ohio Bobcats. The Ohio mascot is named Rufus the Bobcat, and he is actually a new mascot that was introduced in 2006. But the Bobcat's name started way back in 1925. It was adopted by the university after, 30 years of not really having a name. The mascot was first seen in Ohio's 1960 homecoming game versus Miami. So after many changes in appearance, Rufus was officially introduced for the 2006 season. So here's another fun fact here. The Bobcats also have a live mascot, and it lived for a long time named Sir Winzelot. He lived right there at the Columbus Zoo until his death, and there is a new live mascot now. Its name is Paws, and he lives in the Columbus Zoo as well. That is number 94, the Ohio Bobcats, on our 100-day, 100-team countdown list. The target date, August 31st, 2024, the Saturday of Week 1. Stay tuned right here to Ride Along Sports as we continue this list throughout the rest of the spring, through the summer, and into August. So for Brandon Taylor and Ride Along Sports, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.